So when's the last time you played this game, Kat?
I tinkered around with it last year when y'all came out to Ohio to visit. And while y'all were playing awesome like Japanese arcade games, I snuck around to a back room where they had an N64. Now, I didn't know the N64 was back there.
Right. Oh, yeah, this is at Akiba arcade place we went to that happened to have it.
Yeah, so as soon as I saw 64, I'm like, sweet, a 64. I wonder if, oh, crap, I know what I'm doing for the next 45 minutes. And then instantly I thought I wasted a whole 20 minutes not playing this. But
everything you had done up to that point was not playing No Mercy. Now, people kind of agree that this is like the best wrestling game ever, right?
That's a fact. It's the best wrestling game ever.
It's hard to do wrestling games right. Like, what should a wrestling game feature, do you think?
Okay, now this is just my opinion, but first and foremost, you got to separate a wrestling game from wrestling when it comes to gameplay ability. The first thing you got to do is make it not like wrestling on TV, because wrestling on TV, I don't want to use the fake word and offend any wrestling fans.
But it's theatrical, right?
Right, like for it to be a game that's competitive, you have to stray away from script.
Yep.
Right? Otherwise, you're basically playing Telltale game.
Yeah, exactly.
If they made a wrestling Telltale game, it would probably
sweet.
be dope.
Yeah, I'd play
But the reason why this works is because this is a fighting game featuring wrestling.
Okay.
This is not a wrestling game.
That's interesting. I guess there's a tabletop RPG that's like Dungeons and Dragons that's wrestling, where you have to like make a backstory.
I heard about that.
It sounds like that would be pretty fun. I think that Six Gun Ninja was talking about maybe doing that.
Me and my cousin spent hours and hours and hours playing this game, and it was a lifestyle for us. And like a lot of people was into wrestling when they were younger, but I was only into wrestling because I played this game, and I felt like watching wrestling made me better at this.
This game is slightly past when I was into wrestling. I think I like wrestling, they call it the Attitude Era, when they had like Stone Cold and everybody was swearing all the time. Right before that, it was like Jake the Snake, The Undertaker, $6 Million Man, Hulk Hogan. But it's still WWF. This is before they got sued by the Panda people.
And took the initials and did nothing with it. But that's fine. This is fine. At least if it didn't do anything at all, it created a clear line between the two eras of wrestling, I guess. So we can thank them for that.
That makes perfect sense.
When someone says WWF, you know what they mean. When someone says WWE, you know what they mean. And I think that's a good thing.
Probably gonna leave it on easy. I could maybe even go all the way down to beginner because I'm trash at these.
You've never played this game. Okay, so let me go on a quick little rant real quick while you're sitting for it. I think that games like this and moments like this is why pre-internet gaming was special. Internet gaming, if you're making me vote, I'm taking internet era over pre-internet.
Sure, but there's still something that's
moments
missing,
like
right?
this only exist because of pre-internet, because like there was a whole group and community playing Final Fantasy and knowing that is like the biggest thing in the world, right?
Yeah.
And right down the street there was somebody like me that had never even heard of it, and I was playing what I loved, and I was like, everybody in the world is certainly playing this, when that's not true.
Well, now you can't get away from the fact that Final Fantasy is real, right? Like, even though when we were growing up, I had no idea that this was a thing, and you had no idea that Final Fantasy was a thing. I see what you mean.
I'm glad that we can have these grown-up moments where the worlds can collide. I gotta apologize to stream real quick. I will probably laugh at nothing several times throughout this, just because I remembered. Oh my God, it's great.
Let's make a character.
So, this is a really in-depth creative play.
No, well, if we spend the whole stream making a character, that's okay. Like,
all right, well,
right? Isn't that's the dream where your mom comes?
We don't gotta think really hard.
Barbies again.
Yeah, my mom pissed the hell out of it. That was the first
I won't
time
spend too much time on it.
By my mom, she bagged the hell out of me.
How about we do? It's supposed to be my short name. I'm actually gonna make it longer. Let's do.
I had backstories to my created characters. It was pretty embarrassing. WCW versus NWO was better. This game copied it, but it also polished it, though. So I think that's why people jump to No Mercy as better than... I played them all, don't get me wrong. I played WrestleMania 2000, WCW versus NWO, and this probably equally, but this just kind of was more in depth with the character creation. It was a little more polished with the moves and controls. But if you prefer WCW versus NWO, I ain't gonna get mad at you because Big Sexy was my dude.
Wait, what's the difference between a short name and an alias?
You're thinking too hard. Can your alias be superior race, or is that not? Mars.
Gotta have enough Z's in there. Those tacos, though. I want to be a ghost person, I think. I'm surprised at how few like non-wrestler portraits. Like you can look like other
That's just
portraits.
For your icon?
This is like your little icon.
Oh god, it's hard for me to look at the screen right now. Cheesy, crazy. Just be quick, man.
I think
you're gonna spend so much time on other stuff.
I can specify my height.
Okay, so
everyone's got to be.
When we used to, this is cool. When we used to play, we used to use kind of realistic height so you could look like you was a real player when you went out there, and we played like that for years. And then Glove, we played Glove at AirNet when we were grown, and this game had been out for years and years and years. And we're all talking trash, like I'll beat you, you can't mess with me in the game. We brought all our memory cards with our players on them. Glove sticks in his memory card, and his player is 7'7", and we were like. Don't nobody use the extra heavyweights because you can't. If you use the super heavyweights, you can't use a lot of the moves. You can't jump off the top ropes and do a flip.
That's interesting.
And we thought that was a fault. But Glove had discovered that if you're big, you can't pull moves off on a big character. You can only body slam them because they're too heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, so we didn't understand what was happening, but like we couldn't beat him because of that. Not just because of that, he was awesome at the game, but he had this extra layer of defense like that we had no comprehension of.
Max weight and minimum height. I could do that. 100-pound wuss. Is that just like BMI that determines whether you're heavy or super heavy, or is it just your weight setting?
I
don't need to be 600 pounds. We'll be 100 pounds and 5 feet tall.
This is your guy, man. Like, you know, if this was
this is the fantasy situation, right?
If I was waiting to play you, I'd just be letting you make every mistake.
Oh, hey, Chris Benoit. Oops. What is his? The Crippler. It's like that they still have their names in their intros. Like if you're trying to select an intro, you got to use somebody else's intro. I remember Undertaker. It's too cool.
Fortunately, they don't show it on the screen for too long anyway, and most people skip it, so it doesn't.
Right, doesn't even really matter. Mr. Ass.
Yeah, I looked into Fire Pro Wrestling, Dark Star, man. I didn't get to spend much time looking into it, but it looks amazing.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I would definitely say it was probably the modern day No Mercy. I told you.
So did this blow your mind at the time? This is what, 2000?
Yeah.
Game comes out, it lets you do all
We
this?
didn't go outside. I didn't even want to go chase girls. I just wanted to make my character as good as possible.
Oh, I want to be ultra thick. All right.
Hey,
but he's 100 pounds.
Yeah. Little poop man.
All right. It's actual head shape. Okay, I see.
Told you. You're in Barbie land now.
I could see spending a lot. If this is a game that you seriously played at length. Oh yeah, that's the perfect face. I'm glad that was the bottom one, that I didn't have to look through 98 selections. Let's see. Dreads, mohawk. Vanilla ice. Okay.
I will still sit and casually play.
We gotta go crazy hair here.
Right.
This guy. How does the facial hair work? Oh, they just impose it.
Just slap it on. That 3 was pretty correct.
Yeah, no, I think I like 3. It looks the least shitty because it covers so much of the face. Like a lot of them, some of these, like it's off center. It's not even.
That's so ridiculous. But good for them for not being scared and being like, hey, that's their fault if they make that mistake.
Yeah, right.
They gotta pay more attention.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Actually. Braun Strowman or Asuka? I've heard Modern Wrestling is pretty decent, actually. Okay, so I don't want him to lose the hair, but I kind of like the idea that he has sunglasses
his
and
hair is
goggles.
coming through the hat. Okay, that's
okay. That's actually what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
That would be perfect if that's what was actually happening. That's okay. Sarah. Ring attire. I think I like pants. I'm not a big.
I used to always put just
guy.
jeans on my guy.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be panties guy.
I think I'm a jeans guy.
I never respected any wrestler that wore panties.
I know,
Even though
right?
like some of the biggest ones like The Rock and Triple H, Stone Cold all wore panties. I just was like, if you wore pants, you'd be a lot cool.
Right. You don't realize this.
Panties. You chose panties.
We'll go with America colors. What shirts can I get? No sleeves, short sleeves, long sleeves.
You almost gotta at least go. You gotta show the fat man. Oh,
I know,
plaid,
right?
That ripped plaid, bro.
I like this. Where's the ripped plaid up here? Flannel? Yeah, that's pretty.
That feels right.
That seems right to me. Tattoo. Really? Tattoo? This is the N64, man.
Have you used analog, spin them around so you can check them out?
Oh.
Yeah. You know how many times I would spin my guy just to make sure he was perfect?
Just stare? Yeah. You probably,
This guy's perfect.
Just whisper it to yourself.
Yeah.
This guy's perfect.
This guy's perfect.
This is exactly what I wanted.
That's what I saw in my head before I even hit power. Okay.
I can get basically chest hairs. I think that's what we're gonna end up going with, unless if there's some good.
The original one looked really good. I feel like as you're building him, his
you start to realize who he is, right? Yeah, you know who this guy is. That's kind of a fun part of it, I think. Different color gloves.
And then, like, at one point, like, it's got such depth that at some point you have to tell yourself, like, you cannot select something in every category. Because
right.
he's going to walk around.
Like we did with him not having a hat. Yeah.
Like,
he doesn't need gloves, that's
yourself.
fine. Maybe he gets some wristbands, but even then, I don't know if... Well, I think the wristbands, it's sort of like, you know how... The reason that Mario has overalls is because they needed to be able to distinguish his neck from the rest of his body. So it's the same kind of thing here. Like
wristbands
maybe in a way,
just because he doesn't have wrists.
Yeah. All right, let's give him the Dragon Ball Z wristbands. All right, matches his belt. God, this character looks awful.
Oh man, you haven't done a single punch yet.
Nope. We're 12 minutes in. All right. Doesn't need any. You have separate left and right elbow pads. That's. I don't know, man. This level of customization is. I don't think any games. I played lots of games back in the 2000s. I don't think I saw anything that let you do this sort of thing. I don't think he needs an e-brace either.
And then this was really good for like. If you wanted to make Goldberg, who was WCW, on the
you could use this.
You could totally make him, and
that makes sense.
And they gave you the moves that he did, so that you can make him like, man. Listen, like we would spend a lot of time just making characters, throwing them on the game, and leaving. Like we wouldn't even use them. It just made us feel good. Like we have everybody on this game.
I think he needs to have boots for the same Super Mario Brothers reason. Get him some thigh highs. Oh man, flames on the boots. That's a little bit too much, I think. I don't know. I mean, maybe if the what are the color options
now we're not
here?
taking them serious.
Yeah, now this is just a joke. Maybe with blue flames. No, I don't think that's acceptable. I think that's pushing it a little bit too far.
I feel like looking in his face, he might be smiling and got ridiculous hair, but he does take his crap serious.
Yeah, no, let's be real here. I think his boots need to connect to his knee pads, but I don't want them to be overly flashy. Andrea has a one weird thing rule. I think this guy's hair is his weird thing.
Can the chat like decide the finishing move for the character?
Oh yeah, that would be fine. I could probably.
Chat, y'all got any suggestions for the finishing move?
Wait, so like, do you get to name it or something? Like, what do you mean by they get to decide it?
Like, you get to pick what his finisher is, whether it be like the power bomb or the jackknife. So, I'm sure they could probably pick everything from the boots to the shirt, but that would take forever.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the move list, they should probably be decided on the tombstone.
You can have separate entrance attire.
Mm-hmm.
Since I already have shades, I can have more shades.
Like I used to do stuff like have him look like this, but he has this overcoat, and he walks out in the overcoat. But when it's time to wrestle, he takes the overcoat off. Was I thinking too much into it?
No. I think that wow, that's impressive. That's so stupid looking. It's fantastic. Oh man, it's pretty great. Too cool.
That's how you do it, right? Like you gotta, if you're not invested in the storyline, and if the character you're creating doesn't take on a life of its own, you are not enjoying the game.
Bandana's tied around his fucking ears. All right.
This game was fantastic.
Oh,
spear.
funny.
So we got tombstone, spear. I don't know. This guy's kind of fat. The spear might not work for this guy. It was more bowling ball shaped. I don't take him for a muscular spear kind of guy.
Scales. Is that like would people actually hit each other with scales in the Attitude Era? It seems like a specific thing.
I forget who used to come out with the scale, but that was a thing.
I think the roses are where it should be. I mean, we could do the whole water bottle. I mean, is that really a weapon though? I guess he's thirsty. He looks like he's a guy
Triple
that's
H used
thirsty.
to come on with a water bottle and drink it and spit it.
Ah, okay. I'm down with that. So it's a prop, not necessarily a weapon. Oh my god. Okay, alright. I'm not even gonna look at this stuff, man.
You kind of got to just random. Yeah, see what I'm saying? You kind of got to just click and move.
Wow.
Because you can spend hours in that.
What?
See?
Okay, no.
Now,
I'm good.
It will just default to something.
Okay, so
You
I
can
don't
just
have
go
to
to the
pick
finisher
something.
if you want. Like I used to when I was being lazy, I would just go to things that really mattered to me. Like I knew I wanted a power bomb. I knew I wanted this as my finisher, and I would just go to those things.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, oh my god, this is insane.
Submission skills means I probably don't have to work as hard if I put it on novice, would be my guess. Irish whip evasion. What does that even mean? Oh, so you can like decide whether he cuts himself, right? Because that used to be a thing in the Attitude Era. That I think people used to hide a
how
razor
quickly
blade.
he bleeds. Like so, if you want like a Mankind type character that gets his ass whooped a lot, you want to turn the bleeding up. So the first strike to the head, he'll start bleeding.
You can get that water bottle. It's a thirsty fellow. Alright. And I can give stat points to different parts of his body? What?
This game, man.
That's wild. Alright, well.
So at some point you're gonna have to go up to the moves so we can get your finisher. But yeah.
Okay.
It's
We're
pretty
gonna have him be
in-depth, man.
defense focused. Maybe kisses. Dreamcast smell. Was this game on Dreamcast as well? I'm actually playing the 64 version.
Nah, this is just
64 only.
6-4.
So where's finishing moves?
okay, sorry. Go to grappling. No, go to grappling. Go to front strong grapple.
Okay.
Maybe it's there. Hey, I still remember.
Wow.
Still got it.
Wow. Okay,
Still
so special
got it.
move.
So click that. Okay, so did we decide on the tombstone, guys?
I'm down with Tombstone. I was gonna say I could put these all on a vote, but I didn't realize it would give you this many options.
I was trying to be careful with that because I already knew it would be.
That seems like something this dude would do.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You know, I wouldn't have picked it for my guy, but it's not my guy.
So how does that actually work? Like, how do I? It doesn't stick.
So the stick is your taunt, right? And every time you taunt, it builds your special meter and it'll pulsate. And once it gets to the max, it'll just flash special. So in order to pull off your special, you have to do a strong grapple, which you have
just
to hold
the A button,
down.
it looks
You
like.
hold A instead of tapping it. And then once you grab them, you just flick the
Oh, okay, that's cool, dude. You must remember this game because I was like, I don't think you're right. I really don't think you're right. There's no way the special move is
I could feel your reluctance. You're like grappling. That's regular stuff.
That's gonna have its own menu, right?
But once you got to it, you're like, that makes sense because it is a strong grapple. Although it's the finisher, it's a strong grapple. This game is perfect.
So I need to set my rivals. I think I'll just make them be random.
Can you believe people were playing Sonic when this was out?
I'm so sorry about Sonic, dude.
This was out and people were playing Sonic.
They don't even realize what they could have been doing.
Could have been. Again, this is a fighting game based on wrestling. This is not a wrestling game.
Yeah, well, I feel like it would be really cool if they made a Telltale wrestling game. That would be kind of awesome. Because you could still, like, if you had the quick time inputs, you could still make mistakes and you could botch stuff and see how the...
And then the wrestling would have more of a free flow. I think we just gave away $1 million idea for free.
All right, so I made my superstar.
No one played this and Sonic. Those are lies. What? You can't split that kind of tension. What Sonic was out when this was out? I'm sure there was
2000 Sonic Adventure? That was actually one of the only good 3D Sonics, but it was still not amazing. So I could go to the shop and buy more things. I get money by playing the game. All right, let's do new game.
Oh man!
Heavyweight.
Where's your guy?
Okay, I'm glad I can still play as him. It only took us 20 minutes.
Sonic Adventure, yeah, right. Well, Sonic. Okay, did you like Sonic Adventure? And Final Fantasy.
And Sonic and Final Fantasy.
No, for sure, for sure.
It's just interesting that there's those, when we were all growing up in that window, if you're like a millennial or an exennial, like, you experienced that analog window where you didn't have a huge online community where everyone could talk about, oh yeah, No Mercy's objectively the best. Like, my favorite thing has been getting on the internet and finding out that things that I just came to the conclusion on, that a bunch of other people independently came to that conclusion. And I don't know if that's going to happen anymore, because I think that those memes like, No Mercy's the best wrestling game, are so penetrative on the internet that you're going to read them and you're just going to think, oh, I believe that now. Whereas there was this legitimate feeling of running into somebody else randomly and having the same opinion. What did it say?
It said, what did it say? If you win the Royal Rumble, you'll have a title shot. So that was like super like dope for a wrestling game back then. And like, this is how you start. They're going to throw you in the Royal Rumble. This is how you get your introduction to the Federation. And if you do well, you'll be on the fast
So it's actually trying to put you on a realistic...
To see where you're at, You're going to lose. So you don't have
the story will progress whether you win or lose. The story will change accordingly. Yeah, that's cute.
I gotta take a whole day to just play this.
Yeah, it's ready for you, man. It works.
I wonder if I should play it online. Should I get on Twitch and play this?
Yeah, you can stream it. Just, you could be a No Mercy streamer.
Oh my god, No Mercy only.
Every day.
I'll create Sonic. That's my favorite. Hey, badass Billy Gunn. That's my guy.
I'll skip this in the future.
Marstead.
Okay, so that my alias is what's at the top. I still don't know what the short name is. Yeah, I wonder if it is speedrunnable.
You probably can speedrun it. I know I'll finish some matches off pretty quick.
Alright, we don't need to see our opponents. Who cares? We saw mine, that's what matters. Okay. I'm about to lose, I apologize. So there's my
Did you look at the button set?
No.
Oh man. You got this. Oh,
try not. It seems like this game punishes you for mashing, so I'm slow to get up. Now, are there traditional fighting game inputs? Like if I hold back while I'm pressing a button, does something happen?
Yep. Like if you grapple him and just push X, he's gonna do a move. If you grapple him and hold up and push X, he does a different move.
I see. Ouch. So if he's grabbing me, what's the right option? Are there buttons that I should be tapping?
So if he goes to grab you, left bumper will kind of like flex you out of it, but you got to time it right. If he goes to hit you, the right bumper will block it, and if you time it right every time. I don't know based on your buttons what your what your pin button is going to be. Probably.
Do you remember
left
what it
bumper.
was in the original 64?
I think left bumper. If you go to close to their body in the right position.
Ooh.
Ooh, big man light on his feet. Doing all right.
And
man.
it's the little
Talk.
green meter. Oh, okay. Oh, while he's down?
Yeah,
Does that
you
increase my meter to do
Yes.
that? Oh, that's cool.
And it gives you more if you're doing it in their face. Like if you're being particularly disrespectful, and they could be hitting you. Hey.
Oh, I see. That's pretty sweet.
God, this game is so good.
I love that they have that element to it. So the different directions you push the taunt stick in.
Yeah.
I love that they devoted the left
Even
stick.
on the floor, if you don't tap it and you hold down the grapple button, he'll do different moves. Those are stronger moves.
So, like, it's interesting to me that you think about the N64, like, the thing that everyone was so crazy about was the analog stick. This was the first time we really had that on the system. And for them to devote the analog stick to taunting just kind of tells you what wrestling is all about.
I was gonna say, this is the Royal Rumble, right? There ain't nobody else joined in. There should be more people here. Yeah.
Maybe it's based on time or something?
I think it is, but that's sure letting y'all have at it. I like that you're more Mars.
What's the rope break?
That's a wrestling move. If you get too close to the ropes, it's a submission move. I think it is. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Now I can do it once I grapple him.
Yeah, but you got to do a strong grapple.
Yep.
Strong front grapple.
Get up.
Yeah, you will try to get it. Flick that up. Yay!
Nice.
It should be an automatic pin move.
That's cool.
No, it is not.
I need to find out the right button to... I was pressing it on accident earlier, I think. Okay, left trigger is just getting on the ground, basically.
Jacking him up, that's for sure.
Does not count as a pin. Could someone look up really quick what I have to do to pin him? Because I think I can beat him now, but...
I think Royal Rumble, you got to throw him out the ring.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
And that,
Keep doing that.
with that, you gotta. This is Royal Rumble, right?
I thought it said it was.
There should totally be more people. Yeah, maybe they come in at the 5-minute mark. You've just been wailing on them so much it seems longer.
I can do that to damage him a lot, but I have accidentally pinned him a couple times just through button mashing.
Oh,
Ooh.
reversed it on you.
He gets a pretty big morale boost for that, it looks like. If someone Google WWF No Mercy how to pin, I could look it up in a second as well. I've never played the game before, blind for me. And it's probably been long enough that remembering the exact button is tricky, right, Kat?
It can be tricky, but like when you go to create your own character, and if you spend like an hour to make the whole move set, you're going to kind of try to put moves in a certain place where it makes sense.
Oh,
like,
sure.
If
right.
a certain move throws your opponent in the air, you're probably going to use the up input. You know what I mean?
I'm just beating the shit out of him right now instead of actually finishing the match.
Okay, hit him up. Hit him there. No, don't grab him. Hit him.
Get him.
Oh, you might be all right. Hey.
So maybe
Oh,
he'll
it's
ring out
not.
because he's weak.
No,
Oh,
this
he's
is-
got to count down, right?
What? What is happening?
Maybe it's not a Royal Rumble.
Maybe not.
Hold L. Thank you. So you were right.
Okay.
It was L. Looking out
Thank you,
chaos.
whoever looked that up, yeah. Damn. Submission might work too. Looks like he's about ready. I'm destroying the guy.
Because it was rope break, I was too close to the rope when I did it. That's why he didn't stay down.
1, 2, 3, pin.
Poor guy.
Hey. cool. I'm trying to think if there's a fighting game that does button mash detection. There are games that do steal moves where if you spam the same move over and over, it does less and less damage over time.
In Smash Brothers, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like games like Smash Brothers punish you for button mashing a little bit just because of the way it's based on not how much damage you deal, but where you are on the screen. But I've definitely lost to people who button mash in Smash before. Like, can be successful. Yeah, right, DPs.
See, I'm telling you, this game was the shiz, man. Hours and hours thrown away.
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting mad that my girlfriend called me once and I was in the middle of playing this. God.
How often did you play this with other people? Did you play it mostly single player, or?
No, I played it on single player in preparation for when my cousin was coming over.
I see.
And we would play.
Better remember what your purpose of the Royal Rumble is. There's a really great video. So if you're the kind of person that has never really followed wrestling, there's a guy, I forget his name. He put out a video that tries to explain why people would be into wrestling, and he presents it as though it's like a soap opera story. And he basically tells the story of Triple H and his character development, and how he eventually like took over, was working under McMahon, stopped being an actual wrestler and being like still a character though. It's very interesting. Good luck, little Mars. Alright, so this just tells you, so countdown as you lose. What does hardcore mean? That
means
you go get
fight
chairs?
Outside the ring, there's no count, and you go get chairs and weapons.
Gotcha. Cool.
Oh wait, that said no pin, so what is that? Like, oh, this is the Royal Rumble. Okay.
Here we go.
Alright, you're screwed, buddy. You're screwed. Because then you gotta use a button to change your focus on each wrestler too, and I don't know.
You know what that is? Alright. I'll do my best.
I know what it was on the N64 controller. That does not know.
Did hardcore start in the Attitude Era? I feel like they started immediately breaking their rules in wrestling early on. I like that attack. It looks really silly with my fat guy doing it. I'm guessing their heights are just in their stats. Like my character isn't, his model isn't 5 feet tall.
D'Lo Brown.
Oh god, I'm getting...
His name was D'Lo Brown. Why are wrestling so racist? so racist.
Have you seen the, what's their name? Who are the Dragon Ball Z wrestlers that are in the current WWE? New Day? They're just really fun, yeah. I feel like they're approaching it from a better perspective now. Like, yeah, let's just like double down. Let's have them dress up as Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Like, it's the same fan group, I think. Come on.
They're working D'Lo Brown.
So I shouldn't be trying to pin them because it said that's not a valid solution. I have to ring them out, basically.
Yes.
What's the best way to ring them out? Just push them closer and closer to the ring over time?
Or you could grapple them close to the ring, and then there's a button that allows you to rotate yourself toward the ring.
While they're grappled.
And then you kind of like Irish whip them toward the ropes.
Okay.
Now, that's a lot of inputs, and I don't know any of the buttons for
Okay,
that.
very good.
Or you could just bash them until they fall out of the ropes like you did last time.
Right. Wrestling is basically anime. More dudes joining.
That's the guy you just beat. He's gonna be pissed.
That sounds amazing, Jahan. I'd love to try out that Worldwide Wrestling RPG. That sounds like it would be fun. Like, you have to cut promos and stuff to decide whether you're a healer. I think that the way that the rules work, it's all about gaining control of a scene, like narrative control. So you do things where you give up narrative control and let somebody like make you do a bump and put you on the mat to then gain points so that you can do that to somebody else later on. Can you do the thing where you run into a rope and bounce off of it? Oh, nice. Take that, Taka.
Take that.
What's the misinfo, PK Ratchet?
I was gonna say, what we miss?
Yeah, I don't follow. Whoa! Maybe they're talking in hide, I don't know. Yeah, I think a Japanese wrestling RPG, that would be really cool. We were saying that there needs to be a Telltale wrestling game. That would be really awesome.
I hate that move.
You hate that move? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it locks you into the animation forever. It just doesn't.
But not only that, but it just looks ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it.
A live person.
Not that they haven't, but I don't think I've ever seen it. It doesn't even look painful.
No. Come on. That dude's been in the ring the entire match so far, D'Lo.
Oh, that's Saturn.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Wait,
where's
D'Lo? Okay,
oh, maybe he
D'Lo's
just
gone.
got knocked out. Okay, that's why. Closer to Street Fighter. I feel like they could bill wrestling a lot better. Like, there's still a lot of people that I run into that you tell them about wrestling and they're like, you know that's fake, right? Like, it's like secret information. Like, I really like Game of Thrones. You know there aren't dragons in real life, right? It's like... But I feel like part of the problem is the way they bill it. They've never really billed it for the smart marks that know what it's all about and are just kind of watching this impressive, choreographed, athletic competition.
I think that is the fault of Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
People in power not liking change.
Right.
They don't want to embrace the change of acknowledging that their audience is intelligent.
That would be so cool.
They still choose to watch.
Yeah, you can still present, everything can still be, what's the term, kayfabe, where people are staying in character as often as possible. You could still do that. What's the signature move?
Who?
For Rikishi?
Oh, he puts his butt in your face. Like, he backs you into the corner and, like, cheeks you. It sucks. It seems like we got some wrestling fans in the chat. Hey, what do y'all think is the worst finisher for a wrestler? Like, me and my cousin used to always joke that Triple H had the worst finishing move. Like, he's a great wrestler, but his finishing move looked like it felt good. Like, the pedigree looked like it did not hurt at all, especially in the games. Like, it looked just terrible for a long time.
I was trying to use my special. I guess I missed the opportunity. Bummer. Come on, Saturn. We gotta get you out of here, buddy. You've been in this for way too long. So what's the 28 at the top?
That's how many wrestlers are
Holy shit. Wow. So that'll be the rest of the stream. I'll be able to see save state.
That's how many wrestlers. Oh, no, you'll get put out.
I'll get put out at some point. I wonder if it gets harder and harder over time.
I have faith in you, but I don't think you're I think they'll put you out. And then, like, the wrestlers get tougher and tougher.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're still wrestling like clown.
We're like going out. Okay, so it starts with the like D-listers. Okay, gotcha.
Once you start seeing the Rock run out there, you have been beat up pretty good. I've won it before, but it's not.
It's not gonna happen. Oh, you about to need to bounce soon?
Yeah.
Okay. It's 2:37, so whenever you're ready, just. Ouch. No! I'm about to get knocked out right here.
Look at them double teaming you. Wearing you down.
Can I break out of being dazed like that?
With the right timing.
I see. I remember the Super Nintendo WWF game being a lot of doing that stop move, dudes on the ground. I'm impressed this game has so much depth when the N64 only had a couple buttons to work with, right? You pretty much have the A button, you have a grapple button and a strike button.
They utilized every button.
Every combination.
Yeah, they utilized the hell out of that control.
Yeah, that move. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like that move in a lot of other settings.
It looks stupid. It doesn't look painful. It looks unrealistic.
Yeah.
Who's gonna sit there and let you?
It's one of those moves where like that only works because these wrestlers are working together to make it happen, right?
That's just a display in coordination. That has nothing to do with pain. I see you found your way around not knowing the buttons for...
I'm working on it.
Yeah, focus.
I really need to find a way to get them out of the ring. It's harder than it looks. I can press a button to change focus. Oh, it's the C stick. That makes sense. That'd be really interesting to read. I know it happens. Like, a lot of the times they choreograph a lot of the direct moves, but if somebody makes a mistake, they have to improv. And there's only been a few times where the result ended up going against the choreography. There's actually a really good Radio Lab podcast about that. The Montreal Screwjob. Different moves when you grab somebody with the C buttons. I'll try it. Oh, so you might be able to use that to knock him out of the ring there. We've been kind of in a stagnant ring position for about the last 5 minutes. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's what you gotta use to throw them out the ring.
I see. Using that right stick. I basically just sat on his junk there. I don't know if that really accomplished anything. Oh, the C6 also lets you do the bounce off a rope goofy thing.
That's physics, bro. Don't even trip. Don't you dare question that. Yeah, don't you dare question the Irish.
That's like the most wrestling move, I feel like, as a kid.
Like, you can't stop your legs from moving? Why do you gotta keep running when he throws you? The People's Elbow definitely looked pretty nerfed, man.
Yeah.
Him and Hulk Hogan's elbow is just like, dude, people are doing that run in the mill all day. You can't tell me because you took your pad off and all of a sudden I'm just destroyed.
I guess they had a pretty brutal one called the curb stomp that they had to get rid of for lots of reasons. They didn't want kids emulating it. They might be back now under a different name. I have the same relationship with wrestling today as I do with virtually every sport. If it's a big enough deal to get to the front page of Reddit, then I spend an hour reading about what the hell's going on. So if I were in an office setting, I could talk about oh yeah, did you hear about LeBron passing the ball behind that other guy's legs? That was crazy.
So sweet.
I watched that game. I'm about to get thrown out here.
Oh, Saturn hates you. Yeah, you're getting a special. Ooh. Might be close to the end there, buddy.
I hope.
Oh, he's doing it again. He hates you.
Ugh. It sounds like it'll be good for things if Triple H takes over.
The end for Lil Mars.
Yep.
I want to get out of here.
All right, later, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Catch y'all later, chat.
Yo. I flipped you around. It was an effective move. Yeah, I don't think I was still following wrestling around the Attitude Era. I had some friends who were into it, so I knew a little bit about The Rock and Stone Cold. I followed it most closely recently without ever having watched an actual match, just by following front page posts from Squared Circle. All the drama right now about Roman Reigns being pushed as the front man of the league, with it being very artificial and people not really taking to him very well. And the way they retired The Undertaker being a little frustrating that they had Roman Reigns do it. My sister's actually super into wrestling, her and her boyfriend. Ouch. I'm gonna try using one of these grapples that throws somebody out. I see. So I gotta really work on building... It's like a morale bar, right? It's not really a health bar. Well, clearly it's not a health bar. You don't lose from getting depleted. Oh, I almost had somebody out finally. I was so excited. I'm trying to use the C-stick to manipulate them once I have them grabbed, but I have not, no. Well, no, I played the N64 wrestling game, but that was not an actual attempt to emulate wrestling. It was more of like a fighting game where you depleted people's health. I forget what it was called. Oh, I thought that would get him out. Bummer. Whoa. Yeah, I've heard about that. I just heard people were frustrated that they picked the new young wrestler that was being pushed pretty hard by the company. That didn't really have the support of fans. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be great. Like, I might actually watch wrestling if someone gets control of it that tries to build it for the smart marks. Although I have to wonder, like, what percentage of the audience... I feel like smart marks, you know, people who are aware of the wrestling meta, the storylines and that sort of thing, what percentage of the fans that is? Is it like hardcore gamers where, you know, it's maybe only 30% and the rest of it's a more casual audience? Because if you really are trying to build it for kids, because kids and families are the #1 people that are watching it, that might be a little bit harder to argue financially. But I also feel like there's a way to satisfy both crowds, kind of like Nintendo's doing now with games that appeal both to casual audiences and to hardcore gamers. Come on. If anyone has tips on my best way to ring out these guys, like if you have a specific default controls technique to do that, I'd appreciate it, because we've been at a pretty stale group of dudes here for a while. I haven't been able to get any of them out of the room. I guess I can try to keep attacking them and get them on the ropes. Get up! Hey, someone finally got knocked out. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, the athletic spectacle is definitely something you want to focus on. Like, the whole wrestling is fake narrative kind of misses out on the fact that these are very challenging, very dangerous stunts. It's like you're watching movie stuntmen acting live, you know? Taking bumps is hard, it's not safe. But I think there's still something to be said for the storylines. Like, you could write an intriguing storyline and respond to crowd interaction without it being totally driven by smart marks. Come on. Okay, so I just spent my super to reverse... I guess I didn't actually reverse it. I must have lost it because he landed it. McMahon, you mean? Ouch. Yeah. Oh, Ultimate Warrior. C-Left throws people through the ropes when you grapple them. Thank you, D-Piece. Go out right now. Oh, double teaming me. Oh no. God, that guy's face. Turns out it's fixed like boxing. Now, do I have to be close to the ropes to make that work? D-Piece, do you know? And I just tap C left once I have them grappled. I don't like press that and then also press the grapple or the attack button. Presumably. gotta be close to the ropes. I see. Come on. Try to get somebody to use my finisher on. There we go. Nice. Taunt at the end is pretty satisfying. Oh, there we go. Oh, but he reversed it on me. I understand. That's what I'm trying to do, I think. So I can try to like position them to the ropes by using strikes rather than grapples, and then try to use a grapple to toss them out. Give that a try here. He is pretty consistently... Is that because he's got full bar right now? Yeah, every time I do that, he reverses me. It might be because his bar is so high. Hey, good job, Saturn, getting somebody else out. Come on. Ugh. So you don't want to screw around with someone with the reverse bar. Is there a way to get someone whose bar is full to kind of force them to dump it? Or not really? I wonder how the Royal Rumble is actually choreographed, if there's supposed to be a preset order that people get knocked out. Or if there's just kind of a rough storyline and the rest of it is more or less improv. Ooh, kicked in the face. Ouch. Nice. What's he doing grabbing the back of his shoulder like that? Hey, kick him out. Now what can I do when I get him on the side of the ropes like that? It looks like I keep striking him, but he's got like some invincibility during it. I've got the higher meter on Blackman now, so I'll try to get him in a second. Let me get him a little bit closer to the ropes. Nice. I broke it. Still broke it. Oh, when I'm grappling him, I can move him in a direction. I guess that makes sense. Double reversal. Uh-oh. I look bad. Oh, shit. Now, was that Saturn special right there? No, he still has meters, so it must not have been. Look cool, though. He's just kicking my ass over here. Hey, thanks for the host, Kellandros. How was Rift? I played that game very briefly. Thought it was super cool. Standing outside the ropes, you can run to the ropes with C down and they'll get knocked down. Ah. C down just makes you run towards the ropes regardless. Taunting me, man. He's just holding his special meter over here. Nice. Oh, it is the run button. Okay, cool. Can I do like a running attack? I'm in the middle of that. If I press strike or something, do I jump kick them? Ouch. Come on. Right. I think this is what we want to do here. Nice. That's what that is. All right. Hopping over somebody. It's so, like, professional wrestling. Nice. Come on, Saturn. You've been in the... I think he was actually in the first 4 that popped out. Cool spin move. Whoa, that was pretty sweet. Not what I meant to do, but it looked cool. You can throw people into the ropes to see down when you grapple someone. I see. To kind of force them to run back and forth. I see. What did I just do to his back? It looks painful. Ouch. Some of the moves in this game are really cool looking. Ah, I see. Ouch. I like that my chest hair in this game is a tattoo, technically. Ouch. Do you know if you're meant to, like, mash the C button to try to pull off a move, or if you're supposed to press and hold it, or tap it? I know there's a press and hold ability with, Oh, ouch. Blackman's coming for me. I think that's the way the strong grapple works. It's hard because I had to map the C stick to right analog stick, right? It feels awkward to tap it. It's doable though. Could have the chest hair tattooed on. I suppose so, huh? Saturn is just farming meter off me right now. Oh, and we're out. 25 minutes in. I like that it's not game over when you lose, that it changes the storyline. First try. Alright, I'm going to save here. I think that's a good stopping point. I want to make sure that we don't drift too much in the schedule for today, and maybe we'll give an extra couple minutes to Cat on this next sub-block. Thanks, folks. We'll be back in a few minutes with our next sub-block game, which is Quantum Break. And do a save state.